At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, good morning, everyone. I want to remind you that I've got 2 tickets to give away for the Red Bluff Roundup for the big event. Of course, the first night of the Red Bluff Roundup, which is Friday, April 17th. All you have to do is send me an email to mkrueger@weathernorcal.com and you will be entered into the contest. I want to show you too that you can also go to the website. Just go to weathernorcal.com. You'll see in the upper right-hand corner, just below the Crown Motors logo, it says Contact. Click the Contact and you can just put in your name, your email, your message. Hey, I want to be entered into the contest. And you, my friends, will be good to go. All right, so again, that's going to be the Red Bluff Roundup for Friday, April 17th. 2 tickets to give away. I'll be announcing it on Coffee with Krueger live right here, Wednesday, April 15th. There's also a big sale going on at Axner Excavating. Say that 10 times real fast. 59th Spring Sale. You know, they got all kinds of great things going on right now. Of course, the all rock, hardscape sand, soil, best fertilizer, bark products, all on sale. And here's the other cool part. You see it where it says Meet the Pros? They've got a home show coming up April 11th, this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can ask questions. What do they got here? Bring your DIY questions. Meet the experts. Learn tips and tricks. They've also got food trucks out there. Explore everything at Axner Excavating's Spring Sale. Again, Axner Excavating's. Go to the website for more details. Oh yeah, really kind of cool stuff going on over there. Take a look at your Krueger's Quickcast for your Tuesday, April 7th. All right, we're going to be starting off the morning off with a little bit of cloud cover out there, but temperatures not too terribly cold, especially in the valley, low to mid-50s. A bit colder in Alturas at about right at that freezing point at 32. Otherwise in the upper 40s for you along the coast, and some fog. It's a pretty dense fog along parts of the coast here this morning. Out the door this morning, yeah, we've got the fog for many parts of the north coast this morning. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies across the board. Temperatures in the 40s for the mountains, low 50s right now in the valley. Now, we've got that area of low pressure off to our west. That's what I'm tracking right now. Now, this is what we're going to be seeing here when we're talking about the rain, the cool and unsettled weather pattern moving in. Is coming in 2 phases. One with this area of low pressure just off to our west, and another one with a trough of low pressure now over the Gulf of Alaska that will be impacting us by this weekend. Winds, if you're tracking the winds today, nothing to really worry about. They should generally be from variable winds, actually, about 5 to 10 miles per hour in the valley, maybe a little bit stronger for parts of the eastern mountains and along the coast. Winds may pick up here later on tonight, especially just west of the valley. Chances for rain are increasing. It looks like it's going to be around Friday when it peaks, and then we start to see those chances start to decrease as we go into early next week. So for today, temperatures around 80 degrees in the valley, 60s and 70s for the higher elevations, and in the upper 50s to low 60s for the coast. How about tonight? We're talking temperatures around 50 in the valley, 30s, 40s in the higher elevations, and temperatures in the mid to upper 40s for the coast. Looking at that 7-day forecast for the valley. Now, I think as early as tomorrow, we may see some showers. And here's the thing. We may even see a few lightning strikes for parts of the valley, especially north into the valley as far south as Tehama County Wednesday. But I think overall, the best chances for thunderstorms will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Look how much cooler it's going to be, too, down to the upper 60s by Saturday. All right, let's take you out to the coast. Maybe some showers tomorrow. Maybe some thunderstorms on Thursday and some showers Friday, Saturday. Inland and for Trinity County, showers, possible thunderstorms for Trinity County as early as tomorrow, and then that continues off and on for really through the weekend. Siskiyou, Modoc County, Eastern Mountains also have a chance for thunderstorms as early as tomorrow, and that continues off and on through Saturday. Then we start to at least dry things out for a short period of time by early next week. What a beautiful shot looking out at Lake Oroville this morning. What is that? That is absolutely gorgeous, looking out at the beautiful sunrise. Let's see what it looks like on Main Street, Chico this morning. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Hopefully they hadn't stopped in the middle of the intersection, but looks like not a lot of traffic out there this morning on Main Street, Chico. Taking a look at Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive in Reading. This camera doesn't have any movement, but you can see not a lot of traffic there either. Looks like we still have some of those overcast skies. Clouds maybe not as low in some cases here. My mic went out. So I wanted to show you here, this is what it looks like at Elk Country, just north of Trinidad. You can see kind of in the hills there, some of the low clouds. And then, of course, beyond those hills is where you've got the ocean. And so we do have some of those low clouds kind of hanging out. Microphone's still on. All right, there's a look at Crescent City, and you got those low clouds kind of hanging out as well. Taking a look at Bald Hill West, yeah, some fog in the Hoopa Valley area. This is something that we've been seeing kind of off and on for the last several weeks, really the last several months. Soda Ridge looking beautiful there. You can see just some of the high clouds off in the distance, and looking at Fort Jones in Scott Valley. Looks like we've got some clear skies there as well, just a couple of clouds off in the distance. And now we are looking at Lassen Volcanic National Park. Looks pretty good there as well. We're starting to see less and less snow. Begin to see some of the grass. Yeah, I mean, look it off in the distance there. I mean, that snow is melting here pretty quickly. I'm sure it's only a matter of time that they can maybe start opening up the road and clearing out the road through the park here, probably sooner than we typically see. Got a couple people checking in this morning. We got Jackie Dixon from Trinidad saying good morning, and of course we'll take a look at her camera. There it is. Yes. Good morning from Trinidad. Good morning to you, Jackie. And of course we've also got Curtis Brown. Now he's in Red Bluff. Or just west of Red Bluff, not in the Trinidad area, but good morning to you and good morning to everyone. So thank you for checking in this morning, Curtis. I certainly appreciate that. Let's go ahead and take a look now at another look, if in case you missed it. We're going to take a look at it here. Yeah, the ticket giveaway. Red Bluff Roundup fan? Yeah, you could win 2 tickets right here on Weather NorCal for the Friday night, April 17th event. I will be announcing the winners right here on Coffee with Krueger on Wednesday, April 15th. All right, so be sure to get your entries in. You can email me at mkrueger@weathernorcal.com or go to the website, click on Contact, and you will be entered into the contest. I want to thank Wind River for their support at Wind River Resort and Casino. Enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Wind River has been a supporter of Coffee with Krueger since day one, and a big supporter of Weather NorCal in general. So dry and warm into Wednesday. Now, we are expecting a bit of a transition into Wednesday, which we'll get into here a little bit later. Dense fog along the coast in some areas that we've seen. Chance for thunderstorms as early as tomorrow, especially in the mountains, but maybe even the valley getting cut up in some of that as well. Cool and unsettled through the weekend. We're going to get into all of that in the deeper dive forecast, but first, a word from Axner Excavating.
The sun is out. Time to make your plans for spring yard work and outdoor projects. Axner Excavating Landscape Specialist has everything you need with their spring sale starting March 30th with a special Meet the Pros event where you'll get expert tips, tricks, and tools of the trade. Axner Excavating has convenient delivery service and they're open 7 days a week. They also have the largest concrete carts in town, holding up to 1 3/4 yards. Axner Excavating Landscape Specialist since 1967, off Old Oregon Trail just north of Highway 44.
All right, so we take a look at those current temperatures out there right now. Pretty mild in the valley, low to mid-50s. Pretty cold in Alturas, right at that freezing point at 32 degrees. And temperatures right around 49 degrees for Crescent City and Eureka. There it is. So really, the weather we're going to be experiencing over the next 7 days or so is going to come in 2 phases. The first phase will be this area of low pressure right here. Now, this is what we call a mid-latitude storm. It's coming in a little bit more from the south. It's a little bit warmer, not as cold. It is tapping in a little bit of that subtropical moisture down to the south. The flow around this area of low pressure is going to be the key to the amount of rainfall that the valley gets, because typically when these storm systems go from west to east, and they just kind of ride over the mountains, we tend to see shadowing from the mountains. But when you got that direct flow coming in from the south, that tends to be a little bit more favorable for the valley to see a bit more rainfall. Now, this again is the first phase. The second phase is up here. It's a colder, more classic storm system that's going to bring us a bit more rain, more thunderstorms, and some lower elevation snow coming into the weekend. There's the area of low pressure. Kind of wobbles around a little bit as it moves eastward, but it will be just due east of us by the time we get into your Thursday. Scattered showers, possible thunderstorms, and maybe even as early as Wednesday. Then, it tracks down to the south and east, and it actually weakens. Phase 2 comes on in over the weekend with this area of low pressure here. Now, I am also watching the potential for some gusty winds associated with this area of low pressure as it comes in Saturday and even into Sunday. But there you can see more of that rain and more snow popping up on the image there, indicating that yes, it's colder, and that means some lower snow levels. Maybe as low as 4,000 feet. We'll kind of see here, still kind of a ways out here. Now, Monday looks dry. Tuesday of next week looks dry, and then maybe by the middle to latter part of next week, kind of do it all over again with more cool and unsettled weather moving on in. Chances for thunderstorms from the Storm Prediction Center is including tomorrow, the valley, but I think overall, most of the thunderstorms tomorrow will be in the mountains and foothills surrounding the valley. So Trinity County, Siskiyou, Modoc, Lassen, Plumas, and of course the mountains of Shasta, Tehama, and Butte counties. Now, the thing is, I also think some of those could kind of work their way into parts of the valley, and it's going to be late in the day. So the first half of the day will be dry across the board, and then through the afternoon, chances for showers and thunderstorms in the mountains. By late afternoon, early evening, some of those could work their way into the valley, and then it becomes a little bit better chances across the board, and I'd say even the coast could see a chance for thunderstorms on Thursday as well. Let's take a look at Futurecast, and there you can see the low clouds and fog kind of dissipating here later on today. 5 p.m. today. A couple of clouds, right? But no rain, no thunderstorms just yet. Tomorrow's a transition day. You see how the clouds are beginning to move in. Midday Wednesday, there's a little bit of that instability that's heading our way, a little bit of a knocking on our door here. But you can see here, the clouds really begin to take shape. So by the afternoon, there it is. Those thunderstorms are popping up in the mountains. Trinity, Siskiyou, Modoc, Lassen, right? But notice, even the valley getting caught up in some of that as well, possibly, especially, say, around Red Bluff northward into the Redding, Anderson, Cottonwood, City of Shasta Lake, and then there you can see some activity off to the west, but not a lot of activity here for the coast. Then we go into your Thursday. Again, notice the activity coming in from the south. Midday Thursday, we begin to see the showers and thunderstorms popping up in the mountains. And there it is, making its way into parts of the valley. So now on Thursday, maybe chances around Chico, Corning. Everyone in the valley has the chance. But you see how they're just kind of popping up here and there? This is where the forecast models have a really hard time predicting how much rain we're going to see. So let's take a look at that. Through Thursday, 10 p.m., it's not showing much rainfall, is it? However, if you get caught under a thunderstorm Wednesday or even Thursday, it's going to be a lot more than just a few hundredths. You're talking a quarter, half an inch, right? And same story for the higher elevations, having a hard time picking up on where some of those thunderstorms are going to pop up. So can I kind of give you an idea for the same time frame, instead of a few hundredths in the valley, it's showing a half an inch in Redding, quarter of an inch in Red Bluff. And if you head south, you can see it gets a little bit less, but even a tenth of an inch of rainfall, and a bit more off to the north and west as well. So this is why I typically hesitate to show you rainfall estimates, especially with storm systems like this, because there really is no way of telling each community of how much rain you're going to see. But you can get a general idea of the footprint of where the heaviest rainfall will be, north of the valley, west of the valley as well. But even the valley could see some decent amounts of rainfall. Now, by the way, what we were just looking at was through Monday of next week. Winds are not picking up a whole lot, at least for areas just overall. Now, for areas that see thunderstorms, you're looking at some gusty winds at times. There you can see Thursday afternoon, maybe a bit of a breeze coming out of the south for the valley, 20, 25 miles per hour. Then they subside again for Friday. As I mentioned, Saturday, Sunday, maybe the days we'll have to watch for some stronger winds overall kind of coming on in. big drop in our temperatures. We're talking low to mid 60s by the weekend, and then going into next week, we're back into the 70s, but not a huge increase in those temperatures. Lake levels are still looking pretty good. Shasta, Trinity, Lake Oroville, all seeing those positive numbers, seeing increases over the last 24 hours with that historical average over 100%. We see those wave heights are looking pretty good here for today and tomorrow as well, but we are starting to see as those systems begin to approach, we'll probably start to see those wave heights increase. So later this week, if you need to be on a small boat, we may start seeing some small craft advisories. But today, just a patchy dense fog, northwest winds at about 5 knots. So here's your neighborhood forecast sponsored by Dignity Health and Grange Co-op. We've got those temperatures mid to upper 70s. Now it looks ominous again. Keep in mind, not every day will be thunderstorms, although I think there will be thunderstorms almost every day for different parts of the region. That's just kind of how this is all going to work out here. 62 in Fortuna, 74 degrees for Alder Point, 63 in Blue Lake. Bottom line, everyone has a chance at the very least for some showers. Starting as early as Wednesday, but mostly Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday. And then by Monday of next week, I'm expecting to see those drier conditions moving on in and maybe just a little bit warmer as well. 69 out towards Canby, 67 degrees for Aden, and Cedarville about 67. For the Eastern Mountains, we're looking at about 70 out in Shingletown, 71 in Westwood, and Susanville about 75 degrees. For the valley to the south, temperatures still pretty warm. In the low 80s in most cases. For Chico, you're talking 81 degrees today. Low 80s continue on Wednesday, and then temperatures start to drop. Mid to upper 60s for Saturday, Sunday, and even into Monday when we do dry things out. Temperatures generally low 80s for the north end of the valley as well. 77 degrees for Lakehead, 78 degrees in Whiskeytown. And your 7-day forecast for Redding, we're talking about temperatures around 80. For today, tomorrow, and the temperatures gradually dropping. Showers, possible thunderstorms. Now again, you notice I got the showers in there for Wednesday in Redding. We could even see an isolated thunderstorm. That's not out of the question, but that's going to be late in the day. So that's kind of what it's looking like at this point for the forecast. And there goes my mic again. Good morning to Donna. She's saying good morning as well. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a good start to your day. Maybe you're starting your day off with that morning sip of coffee. Well, that should do it for us. Just wanted to as we wrap things up, for those of you just checking in, by the way, if you're just watching and you're like, oh, I just missed your live show, no need to worry. All you got to do is this. First of all, on YouTube, you can check the Coffee with Krueger playlist. And that gets uploaded there as well. Also, you can go to the website. Now, if you go to the website, let me show you here. Mic is still on. I'm going to show you the website. Now, there you can see, right there. See that? It says Coffee with Krueger, weekday mornings at 6:30. You can click on it, and you can see a video right here. Now, that's yesterday's Coffee with Krueger. When I'm done with this, I will upload it, and you'll be able to get it. So if you're watching and you missed it, no need to worry. You can always check it out later from different locations. All right, now that we're here, hey, might as well kind of wrap up the show here, taking a look at some of the beautiful cameras around the area. There's a look at Soda Ridge. Beautiful, beautiful Mount Shasta. I hope you all have yourselves a great Tuesday. We'll see you bright and early again tomorrow morning right here on Coffee with Krueger. Until then, have a great day.